Warning: the following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. Although, if we're lucky, he's sleeping right now. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited pre recorded videos instead. Viewer discretion is advised. But that's pretty much for everything here. Viewer discretion is always advised here. Oof. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another lovely Wednesday. For a lovely Wednesday for a live stream. So, welcome to another edition of my drawing live stream. If I can't say that enough times, because again, I'm still trying to sort myself out here. So here we are, lovely Wednesday. While I guess other places are having complete heat waves, I actually had to close the window a bit because it was chilly in here. Lucky me, I guess. Depending on where you are living. So let's see who's joining me, who's keeping me company here in the comments, in the chat. Oh, hello, Efrain. Hello. And Joseph. Hello. Welcome. And yes, my eyeball people, I see you. The four people next to the giant eyeball on my screen watching from regions beyond. Yes, so thank you for joining me today for another rousing 2 hours of whatever it is I decide I'm going to do today. There's a lot going on. There's always a lot going on. I don't know why I keep saying that. So I guess might as well just get all the introductions in order while everybody is slowly trickling in. So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
You really want to know my process?
Absolutely.
Usually starts with a holla and ends with a creamsicle.
And then if there's time in between, Thundercats. Ho!
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, especially Tall Tales or So I Thought, which is currently on Kickstarter right now. I think it's just a little bit over 1 week left on Kickstarter. It will be closing out, I guess, like next week, I guess. Yeah, on the 30th. Yeah, next Friday on the 30th. Not this coming Friday, but next Friday. So if you haven't pledged yet to the first full color Tall Tales short that I've ever created in the entirety of my career so far, you can pick it up now on Kickstarter. So Tall Tales are So I Thought. It is a one-shot prequel to the Thieves Quest storyline. It's a standalone story, so if you just want to pick that up, you can. But if you want to collect all the Tall Tales comics that I have available in trade paperback, you can pick that up on the campaign as well. If you missed any of my previous campaigns, most of the books are available on the campaign, so that you can just support the campaign however you like. So like I said, there's a little over 1 week left to support it. So why wait? Pledge today. You know the drill. All the links are in the show notes below. And I am also known for my mature audiences medieval fantasy drama EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, which returns to Kickstarter in August with issue 7 already. Link is in the show notes below for the pre-launch page for this, so that you can click on the notification bell. Well, click on the notification button on Kickstarter so that you can get notified when the campaign goes live in August. I mean, really, this year is just going by so fast. But yes, issue 7. And again, if you missed any of the previous campaigns, you will be able to catch up on all the previous issues of EGORAVEN, including the trade paperback and the prequel as well. well, so you don't have to worry about that. And I am also co-host with Nita Lanning, who is watching you all from the background right now. So everyone behave yourselves. Yes, I am co-host with Nita Lanning on the Raging to the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you check us out on Friday, on this coming Friday as well. For that. And in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, that's TAILS online.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. And like I said, now we're at 3. We're at not 3 but 5 eyeball people who are watching us right now. Let's see who's also so Nita's in the background with no pants. That's okay. I'm not wearing pants either. And yes, Afraid, absolutely. This Saturday, it is the last Saturday of the month. Where's my do I have it's like no, I don't have look at that. What the heck? Oh, here it is. Yes, here is my banner. Yes, thank you. Yes, for a Saturday, the last Saturday of the month, 8 p.m. Eastern, House of Bob returns with another episode. I have no idea what what the topic is for the show. I've just, look, just consider it at this point another Clip Studio Paint episode. Except we're going to be doing dirty artwork in Clip Studio Paint instead of Photoshop. That's the topic. There you go. Yeah, well, that too. That too. So join us on Saturday for House of Bob, the adults only draw stream where me and Nita just spend the time entertaining the chat with raunchier conversation with raunchier artwork on the table this weekend. So join us at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours. This Saturday, I'm probably going to be inking the last of the variant covers for the Eagle Raven the Unicorn King's Daughter campaign. So I'm going to be probably most likely doing that, trying to get that campaign completely finished, because boy, to say I'm a little tired of putting it together is an understatement. But yes, Efrain, you are correct. Yes, and if you are joining us from Facebook, welcome. If you're joining me from Twitch, welcome as well. But if you're joining me especially from Facebook, come on over to YouTube. Help keep my people company in the chat. Keep me company in the chat here, because Facebook has a tendency to act up. And as you can see, we stopped streaming to Twitter because they don't even let me read your chats. They don't let me read your comments anyway. So there was really no point of it. So if you want to engage in direct conversation with me or whatnot, the best way to do it is in the chat. Here on YouTube. So yes, yes. Yes, a lot of naked furries, yes. Although, just to give you a heads up, I haven't been able to get to the animated hostess yet, but she is on the docket, just for not this episode. So there you go. So that's so let's see. So that's I guess it's like that's kind of all I have for housekeeping right now. Like I said, I'm going to finish the last cover for the variant cover for the Unicorn King's Daughter campaign. I was just taking a look through the Kickstarter campaign for that. I have to go through that and the Kickstarter for Eagle Raven issue 7, because it seems that Kickstarter has done some new updates. And the funny thing is that for the longest time, we were all bothering Kickstarter that they should have images on the side. So it's like you have images on the levels so that so when you guys go to Kickstarter, like say hypothetically to support to pledge to Tall Tales, or so I thought, in its last, I think, like 8 days on Kickstarter. Say you go over there, right? Hypothetically. Right. So now when you go click a level, there's going to be pictures there. And we've been clamoring for that for the longest time. And about several months ago, they finally put that there. So, it's like, okay, so it's a little extra step, but at least now the levels, you can see a picture as to what you're pledging on. And then they added, and then they did the same thing to the add-ons, where it's like, okay, cool. It's like now when you go to the add-ons, now you also get little pictures so that you know what the add-ons are. So it's like, okay, so that's cool too, because now it's supposed to be like really convenient for everybody, to when they look through a campaign to know exactly what they're getting. Well, they did one more update where now it's not so funny anymore. So now they did an update where now every separate item that I put in, that if you run a campaign to, every separate item now has to have its own picture. So before, when you would have a level, so it would give you a bullet point list of all the things that you were going to get in that level, which I thought was, I didn't think that needed. But apparently Kickstarter did. So it seems that they're going to get rid of the bullet points and they're not going to replace them with little pictures. So now everything in Kickstarter has to have these little pictures in it. So I am having a rough time. I'm having a rough time, especially for the Unicorn King's Daughter campaign, which has an inordinate amount of variant covers in that campaign. It's a little gothic. I know that on previous episodes I've shown you like how many variant covers I have so far, where like I think we're kind of like close to like maybe like 50 variant covers or something. It's ridiculous, if you count like all the silvers and the hollows and the virgin covers and whatnot. I think I even have even more than that. So it's like I have to make little individual graphics. So I have to make graphics, three sets of graphics, 4 actually, for the main scroll, for the levels, for the add-ons, and now for the complete item list. And it's just like, oh, this is not fun anymore. It's kind of like, okay, Kickstarter, okay, stop with the images. We just wanted it on the levels. It was okay. The add-ons was fine. Now this is too much. Too many pictures. So, that always just boils down to, be careful with what you wish for. Right. So, let's see. So what am I doing here? Okay. Yeah. So I've just been like looking at that. I was just taking a break because eventually I have to take a break from inking. And I was looking at my Kickstarter and it's just like, it's like just when I thought I was almost done putting everything together, now it's just all, oh crap. Now I have to do this whole set of graphics again, just, to finish this. And it's just like, okay, all right, fine. It's just what it is. It's, I mean, it would have been nice if they just had us put graphics in the not the add-ons, but in like the master list, and then just use those same graphics for the add-ons as opposed to, so because the add-ons are pretty much the same thing. I mean, but I just have to remember I just have to remember this to tell them on their next survey, like too many pictures. Yes, but you said you wanted pictures. Yeah, now it's too much. So that's so I've just been racking my brain with that, but I really do hope that these campaigns are worth it, especially the Unicorn King's Daughter, Medieval Viking Slut, and Tales from the Outer Kingdoms. That's my very experimental campaign coming up. It actually has 3 books in one campaign. And yeah, we're just going to be trying a whole bunch of new stuff. Everything that I've learned about Kickstarter and all that, I'm going to be trying on that campaign. So I hope that everybody likes it. I mean, it's like, yeah, I have to wait until issue 7 completes before I put out the pre-launch page for that, because Kickstarter won't allow that many pre-launch pages at once, running at one time. So, but it's like I have I have good vibes for the next for the upcoming campaigns, which is pretty good. So so yeah, so here we are. And as the title states, take a shot every time I say Clip Studio Paint. Yes, it's like that is my brand new toy of the moment. And I have just been cranking on this program. I finally I completed the 8 pages for Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut the other day. So those 8 pages are completely done, well, inking wise. Now I just have to shade them in and color. But at least I can sit on it for a little bit so that it doesn't feel like I'm just doing the same project for a long time. So, and as you can see on the little screen right here, these are the last pages that I'm working on for the main Unicorn King's Daughter book. I literally have one more page, 2 panels. I literally have 2 more panels to finish before this book is also completed in terms of inking. It's already inked and lettered, not in Clip Studio Paint though. It's not lettered in Clip, so that's why I don't have a problem showing the pages, because there's nothing to give away in these pages, because the punchline is in the dialogue. So yeah, so I'm not really concerned about showing you guys a preview of these pages. So yeah, I've just been it's like I've been saying, I don't know if I've been working faster in this program in Clip Studio Paint, but I've certainly been working a lot more consistently. I know that I would have, if I had been drawing these pages traditionally, I know that I would have been slowed down by a lot of things. And just by being able to do it digitally, I was able to overcome a lot of stress with that. I've been talking about this, for a bit. And coincidentally, actually not coincidentally, it's just that I haven't been paying attention with time. Clip Studio Paint is now doing their July, their summer, their summer promotion. So if you don't have Clip Studio Paint yet, you can get up to 60% off. It says here ends June 27th. Usually they run this around 4th of July, but they usually do run another sale around 4th of July as well. That's when I usually remember it. Usually January and July. But right now, as we speak, Clip Studio Paint is running a promotion where you can get 60% off getting whatever. I guess I'm thinking it's especially for EX if you purchase it. So yeah, so if you've always been curious about getting Clip Studio Paint, honestly, just get it. I think that it's worth it, even if you get the subscription service. It's incredibly reasonable, especially compared to something like Adobe. And it's like, look, I can't sing the praises of this program enough. I've had a CD of this thing for years, since it was called, I think, Manga Studio. I mean, and only now have I installed it and upgraded it and got the subscription. And honestly, it's worth every penny. So if you want to, if you want to try this out, if you're a little bit tired of struggling with free programs, you don't quite have the budget to get like the Adobe suite, Clip Studio Paint 60% off, you really don't have an excuse. If you really want to get, I recommend getting the EX version, which is the full version, because supposedly like the regular version, the regular is just for like if you're just doing illustrations. And but if you want to get like the options that are specific to creating comics and webtoons and those types of things, get the EX version. And also it has the animation feature in it as well. So if you want to also try your hand at animation, you can do that in Clip Studio EX. So like I said, it's worth it. I actually have to go into my I have to do a slight upgrade on my subscription. I kind of remember only getting the one for one computer, but now what I want to do is I want to upgrade it so that I can put a copy of it on my laptop as well. If I ever needed to take my Cintiq or something with me, if I needed to travel or something, at least my laptop would have Clip Studio Paint, so I could work on that as well. I'm not really sure. It's like, I think it's like $7 for multiple computers or something. I would have to check. But yeah, but like really, it's like I'm also paying like, you know, you can pay up to $50 a month for Adobe, for the Adobe suite, or you can pay like $7 to get Clip Studio Paint on a bunch of computers. So right now, it's like I'm still using the Adobe suite because I have so much advanced work already prepped in those programs. But the idea is to start, like to kind of like transition a lot of the work to Clip Studio. Although to tell you the truth, I really do like lettering in Illustrator. So I'm not sure how quick that's going to happen. So it's like, well, we'll just take it a step at a time. I mean, so I use both programs. That's just what it is. So let's see. So oh, I am very old school. I remember when it was called Manga Studio. So that's so I'm just really glad that I'm finally using this program. So so here, let me just, bring this up a bit, because usually like the first half hour, I just kind of like use it as kind of like, a thing for housekeeping, whatever general thing that I'm thinking of at the time, just to give everybody the opportunity to kind of like slowly trickle in. And then usually at the half hour mark, I start working. I'm just kind of wondering, because I've been watching like other people's streams, and I was really noticing that they just go into a stream just starting. They drop that card and they're already working on something. And I'm kind of wondering if that's something that I don't know. It's like, is there a preference that you have watching this? Like, do you prefer if I just go in working, or that's Saturday. That's Saturday, afraid. I can't do that on I can't do that on the regular shows. That's why we have the once a month adults only stream, because like, that's the type of artwork too that I also do. And it's like, why leave them out of it? But the problem is that I can't really do that type of artwork all the time in general streams, or else we get our channel dinged. But that's why, Saturday, last Saturday of every month is House of Bob, so that we can kind of be a little freer with the artwork and with the conversation. But yeah, so I was just wondering, it's like, it's like, do you guys have a preference as to like, it's like, do you guys mind the first half hour of this, of commentary and then going into the artwork? Or is that something that maybe it's like you guys want me to get housekeeping done like as quickly as possible, get into the artwork, and then and then like just do the rest of the commentary over the artwork? I was just kind of wondering. I've been cleaning up my social media lately, so okay, so it's like, oh, you like the current format. I mean, I'm preferential to this as well. It kind of like gives me the opportunity to warm up, being on screen, being, live streaming, and then it's like, oh, I can transition to the artwork. Let's see. Oh, the rant fix. Look, I can't guarantee a rant. I can't guarantee a rant, every episode. Yeah, it's like, do what's best. It's like, yeah, because that's what I'm feeling. Even though I see other people just go straight into it, it's like, no, I don't know. I kind of need the warm up. Kind of need that. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I've been working on, like cleaning up my social media a bit, kind of organizing things better, trying to get trying to what is it, just trying to get a better handle on things. It's like, if you joined us on Monday, I talked about this book that I'm reading, the something about social, about like how to market yourself more efficiently, which of course I don't remember the name of the book right now. Hold on, I'm just opening up my Kindle. There we go. The 1 hour content, the 1 hour content plan. And yeah, we were just, and so it's like I'm kind of like slowly going through that. There's also this email that I'm reading. It's like them, like, I don't know, just trying to get myself more together online. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. So that I can kind of like, especially with the last of these Kickstarters coming up, just kind of like, oh, okay, let me see what I can learn from this now, so that when the new year, oh my God, am I saying that? I am saying that. I am fucking saying that. 2024. When the new year starts up, next year's campaigns will hopefully be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more, more organized. It's like, my promotion online will be more organized. But we'll see. Yeah, like yeah, that's true. Nita says we'll handle that Friday. Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking more about crowdfunding and the future of our crowdfunding, because in the end, this is really about the journey that I'm going on, and I just like talking about it. Not only to be transparent about what I'm doing, so that people who are watching, who may want to do campaigns, who are doing their own comics or whatnot, that they can kind of like learn from me and my mistakes or what I'm doing, and see, it's like, oh, maybe what I'm doing will work for you, or maybe you could offer suggestions in the chat, maybe that'll work for me or not, so it's just kind of like a group thing. But in the end, it's like everything that I'm doing here is just like from my experience. I don't, I've been at this for a while. You guys do the math, but I still don't consider myself an expert in any way, shape, or form. It's like I'm just feel like I'm learning all this as much as everybody else is, because so much changes so quickly that it's like it feels like every 6 months I'm starting from scratch. It's just like, that's just what it is. So okay, so let me get my setup together. And then it's like I'm going to switch over. So let me run a bump, and while I'm switching everything over, and then we can carry on with whatever today is we're doing. So if I can figure this out. Okay, so we'll be right back.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. Yeah, you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Oh, yeah. Also, a couple of other things too. Speaking of Kickstarter, because we're always talking about Kickstarter. Just a reminder. Also, chats are in the link is in the chats for Sky of Thorns, an epic fantasy romance special edition. This is a romance novel written by Krista Crawford of Wolf and I, the comic. She is getting into romance novels now, so she has her another series coming out. This is volume 1 of a 3-volume book series, and her campaign and my campaign for Unicorn, for Ego Raven, the Unicorn King's Daughter, they're running simultaneously. And what's going to happen is that we're going to be offering special items that if you support both our campaigns, that you will be able to get. So the link for her campaign is in the chat and in the show notes as well, so you can be notified when the campaign goes live. It's in pre-launch right now. Also, finally, the Lusty Dragon Mistress, for those of you who do like the naked furries or furry-ish, or at least naked dragon ladies, at least. The Lusty Dragon Mistress by our very own Nina Amberlin. She is also in pre-launch right now with the campaign. I'm not sure when she's going to be launching, but the pre-launch is live right now, so that you can sign up and get notified when that campaign goes live as well. It is a not safe for work project. I mean, it's all in the title. It's right there in the title. So if you're into that type of Yeah, if you're into that type of book, something a little bit more racy in your fantasy, that's also going to be a book for you to pick up. So yeah, so I just wanted to mention those two campaigns before I forgot. So yes, links are in the chat, and links are in the show notes below. So like I said, I have been diligently working and inking these projects that I'm trying to finish for these campaigns that I'm talking about. So this is the final 4 pages for the Unicorn King's Daughter. As you can see, they're pretty much almost done. So I'm giving everybody a quick preview. I think I showed this page, especially I think at the last time I did a stream. I think I don't remember if it was on the vlogs or just here in general in my own stream here. So just to give you guys a frame of reference as to how this is going, this panel up here, this is actually hand drawn. So this one I had scanned in from a hand drawn piece that I did on my traditional media, on Bristol with my Rapidographs. But I just figured that once I got hooked on Clip Studio Paint, I was going to finish the rest of the book in Clip Studio. Which ended up being a really, really good idea, because there was like a lot of elements that if I had to draw these traditionally, I know my brain would have shut down, and I would still be working on this page, because it's like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. So I had to draw in these bookshelves with the DVDs on it, and even like there was a particular sofa that I wanted to use to make sure that it looked correctly, and instead of having to light box photos, I was able to do it very easily in Clip Studio. So I was able to get through this page. I was able to like finish these pages without suffering too much. Actually, not suffering at all. I would have been suffering if I had to do these traditionally. But as you can see here, like this background here, it's like what I've mentioned that the one thing that I was trying to teach myself how to do is how to do like background / architectural elements by hand, freehand though, without a ruler, because I always felt like every time I tried using a ruler, everything looked a little too straight, a little too perfect, so and it kind of looked weird, like I could, so I figured like, what, let me try doing this by hand, freehand. It's, because it's like, I don't know, even if it looked a little wonky, it was a lot better than it being like overruled. But I figured that the more that I did it, it would, I'd get used to it or whatnot. But the thing is, though, because I was able to imitate my pens exactly in Clip Studio, now it's like I can get these straight lines without it looking like it doesn't belong there. So even though now the lines are completely straight, because I'm doing it in the computer, it looks like the characters look like they're in an environment, not like they don't look like they're like in a set. You know what I mean? Like, does it look flat? Like if I had like ruled it? I mean, I don't know. It's, it's kind of like, I guess maybe it was just me, but so at least I was able to get these pages with all these elements in it, like done without really worrying about it. So definitely just for that, working digitally was really, 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 really worth it. Because I know that, like I said, I don't know if I'm quite inking faster, but I'm inking more consistently, and I'm not stopping as much because I'm not hitting these little walls when things get slightly complicated. So so this is, one of the other pieces, one of the other pages. So it's like I'm just like getting through it, and now this is the final page that I have for the book. So I just have like I'm still trying to decide whether I should put something in this background. There is lettering here, so I'm still trying to decide whether it's worth putting it in or just leaving it like that, or but I just have this panel and this panel left to go. Um, so but the thing is, though, is like, I was debating whether to finish the page on this stream. But the thing is, I was like, I think what I'm going to do is like, just for you guys to see what it looks like without the red line, the sketch in the background. So the sketch, these particular sketches, the sketches were originally done in a separate sketchbook that I brought into Clip Studio. Although these last two panels I did digitally because I changed the ending from the original that I had. So I decided to just do that really quick. But I do like this ending better. But because there's no text in it, I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything because the joke is in the dialogue. So if you want to find out what the actual ending of the medieval, you can also get Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut, the supplement, the adults only supplement, which relates to this ending. You can, so if you want to see the ending to this, you have to wait until the Unicorn King's Daughter comes out later on this year, so you can pick it up. So in the end, what I decided what I was going to do was I wanted to work just on a pinup that I did a while ago. That it's like I have like this stack of pencils that I usually keep, just so I can keep, kind of like keep it moving. But now that I'm doing everything in Clip Studio, it's like, you know what? Let me also try inking one of these pieces in Clip Studio, and maybe depending on my mood, maybe I'll also use this piece as a way to kind of learn to color in Clip Studio Paint. I kind of have an idea that it's pretty much the same as coloring in I was about to say Facebook. No, not in Facebook, in Photoshop. But what I really liked was that I was able to bring in my custom colors from Photoshop into Clip Studio. So these particular, if you see here, these particular colors that I use a lot in coloring Ego Raven. There's a lot more that I should be putting in here. I'm kind of thinking that maybe like every character should have their own swatch set, just so I can have all their colors in there. But the thing is, mostly these are the colors that I use. So I was just really happy to be able to take those Photoshop color sets and bring them into Clip Studio without much hassle. So that's probably something that I'm going to, probably I'll do it on this piece. Now, this piece, I don't know. This was a piece I was just in a mood to draw. It's kind of like this weird fantasy Calvin Klein poster. I don't know, but it works for me. So this was originally hand drawn. This is my usual blue line, my blue line pencils that I do. I scan them in because I really do like the blue lines, and sometimes I ink on a printout as opposed to the actual blue lines because I just like the look of it. I mean, it looks like very like something animated from animation or something. But here I don't have to worry about it at all because now the inking is going to be all digital on a digital full file. So I still have my blue line, so I don't have to worry about it. So, okay, so this already creates a layer. So, yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my comic book pages here because we're not going to be using any of those. Okay, yeah, we're not going to be using that either. Yes, we're going to save that. Okay, so here we are. So, okay, so where's my music? So let's just start. So So yeah, so that's let me see. So also the thing is too is that I'm getting the hang of the shortcuts in Clip Studio. Oh, so let me show you my favorite thing. One of my favorite things in Clip Studio. That it is okay, so let me get the right. This is probably the thing that I liked. One of the things that I liked the best about like I was able to do this in Photoshop, but I don't know. It just seemed a lot easier in Clip Studio. Either that, or it just might be my enthusiasm. I don't know. So just able to just do that. I mean, really, it was that simple. And there was just something about just being able to do that. Also, the very satisfying. Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm going to finish the doodle story because technically that's what it is. But I just want to do something a little bit different right now. Because like I said, it's it's the punchlines in the text, and it's a very, very good punchline. So yeah, so I've just been just trying to get used to the shortcuts because I keep messing myself up. Remember it, like trying to get that muscle memory from Photoshop. But I'm getting the hang of it, because that was the thing that I was a little worried about, like how different are the shortcuts, and they're not really that much different. It's just getting used to them. And then it's like I figured out how to use like the pen option really quickly, so I could scroll through the nibs that I need over here, because I only used 4. For those of you who missed my last, yes, I am very much drunk on CSP. Like I said, it's like I'm probably going to be the absolute worst ambassador for this program because I'm literally learning it as I'm going along. So but you know what? It's like we're learning it together. Although I know that a lot of you in the chat already know this program, so it's like, So, but you know what? You're here. You're just gonna have to deal with my enthusiasm. So yeah. So I'm just yeah, I mean, this is just pretty much what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. There was a little drama here and there, but nothing, just in general, but nothing worth really commenting on. It's like there are just some things that are just like, that really has nothing to do with me. There was a video from Ryan Holiday. It's because of him that I kind of got into stoicism and all that. And he was talking about how you really, the saying, it's like, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And he was saying how the Stoics had something believed in something similar to that, where it's like whatever you surround yourself with, whatever you make important, that is what you become. And especially with like a lot of like negativity that I've been seeing this past couple of weeks, it's like it really showed me that it's like, yeah, I'd rather concentrate on this than drama. I'd rather, and also like the importance of surrounding yourself with people who, oh, Raid, hello, hello, everybody, hello, Pulses from Visenia's channel, hello, Pulses, hello, thank you so much. Hello, Vess. Hello, welcome to me doing Clip Studio Paint. Hello. Oh, yes, we are. More frisky unicorns. Absolutely. So thank you so much for another successful raid. Hello. Thank you. Yes, Clip Studio. Absolutely. Hello. Yes, Joe. It is the best type of raid. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I think that this is very appropriate because it was me watching Visenia use Clip Studio Paint that just finally convinced me to do it. Hello, Keeman. Hello. It's between Visenia, our friend Allison, and our other friend Sam Vera, like the three of you guys. Hello, welcome. So it's like I just got, it's like, especially like Vess would do like stuff with brushes and whatnot, and I was like, you know what? I finally have to make a decision with this. So I'm a slow learner, but but I'm getting there. Yes, I'm really beginning to learn them. And definitely you had mentioned making my own brushes the other day, and it's like I was playing around with that for a bit. It requires a little bit of tweaking, but there's some like background brushes and stuff that I want to make, because I know it'll just make my life a lot easier. But yeah, it was just once I realized that Clip Studio could imitate my repeatiographs this easily, that was it. I was hooked. So far, all the artwork that I've done in Clip Studio so far pretty much is identical to the pieces that I do traditionally. And it's just really, really helping me with my workflow, which is, kind of the point. So that's, so it's just really nice. I just have to go to B&H Photo sometime this week so I can pick up more felt pens, felt tips for my pens. Because I swear, it's like everything works better. Everything works better ever since I started using Clip Studio. I just didn't realize, Photoshop's a good program, but once you compare the two, you realize that it's like Photoshop's not really cut out for this. And that's also another thing too. Right. Right. Let's see. What? Because aren't they looking for ambassadors? It's like, Jesus. It's like Vess would be the perfect. She got me to finally pony up for a subscription. B&H Photo. I haven't seen the commercials, but it might be. Yeah, B&H Photo. They're like a New York tradition here. Cool. Yes, feel free. Feel free to lurk. Thank you. Oh yeah, I mean it's like because they had a whole ad where they were looking for ambassadors for clip studios. So I don't know what they're talking about. They want. Oh, I see. They specifically want YouTubers, right? Well, it's like, look, Vess is posting her stuff back onto YouTube again. Which that's how I ended up watching like 10 hours. 10 hours straight of Vess doing that last cover that she did for XOB. Although they say it's pronounced Saw, so it's like I don't know. you know yeah, so it's like, yeah, because I don't know why watching it on YouTube is a lot easier for me than watching it on Twitch. I don't know, I guess because the interface, I know the interface for YouTube, rather, so it's like, and Twitch is like, just has a lot going on. A lot of commercials. Let's see. So Joe says, maybe the same when the commercial states that they're there in New York, wondering if it would be worth buying a camera there to do live drawings. Well, I mean, if you're gonna buy a camera from anywhere, I would buy it from B&H. Usually the prices are no different if you buy it from B&H than if you buy it from Amazon. And at least B&H, they also have like the protection programs and whatnot. And and for me, they're here. I mean, not right here. I have to go into Manhattan. They're around, like, they're near they're where are they? They're near 34th Street. They're around 34th Street, I think. And that's where I bought my Cintiq there. I bought my scanner there. I'm gonna buy the felt nibs for the pen there. They're just really convenient. And honestly, if the prices, at least for me, if the prices are identical to Amazon, I'd rather go there to pick it up and just get it now as opposed to waiting. So also with Amazon, you never know when you're getting bootleg shit. That's the thing. You never know when that stuff is counterfeit. You sometimes have to read the reviews or whatnot. So at least with B&H, for sure. For sure what you're getting. And also they're experts there. They're not just salespeople. They're people who actually know. They know how to use the stuff. That's how I was able, to talk to them. I was able to talk to them about the Cintiq and which one was better and whatnot. So I would, so it's like, if the prices are pretty much the same, I would go to B&H Photo. So I was watching Vess's stream on YouTube when she was doing that XOB cover, which came out absolutely gorgeous as always. Although I did really like the swimsuit, the pool party one that you just finished the other day. So that one was really fun too. And it's like I was watching. I was watching, like, seeing what pens you were using, what settings you had, just like seeing just, the only thing that I couldn't see was your layers, the way you set up your layers, because, you have your screen covering that side, but that's fine. That's okay. I guess it's like, it's close enough. I'm getting the hang of how all of this works so that, it's it's a lot. In the end, it just turned out that Photoshop wasn't really adapted to this, and I thought that Clip Studio would be the same thing. I thought it was me rather than, I wasn't quite using the right equipment. But yeah, I'm just so I'm just hooked though. But honestly though, for everybody who's a little concerned about like, oh no, it means I'm not going to do any traditional work anymore. That's not what that means. That's not what this means. This is just another tool in my arsenal now. And there we go. And and it's just something that it especially will really, really help me with getting comic pages done. Because honestly, it's like these comic book pages that I've been doing for the past like 2 weeks. I mean, it's Zen, it's Zen comics, kind of like I never felt so relaxed doing comics than when I was doing it in Clip Studio. So it's definitely something I want to keep doing. Like I have oh well, that's a good point. That is an absolute good point. If you are concerned she won't do traditional artwork anywhere, pay her for some. Very good, very good. Absolutely. I do have some commissions. That's the funny thing. After I'm kind of like done with this, I do have commissions I got to catch up on, and those I have to do traditionally. Although I'm doing a hybrid of it, where I'm doing like the sketches and everything in like Photoshop and Clip Studio, and I'm gonna tighten up the pencil. Like I got the initial approval with changes on the layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten up those pencils in the computer, digitally. And then once he okays it, I'm going to lightbox it onto actual paper, because that's what he usually gets, and that's what I charge him for. So yeah, so it's like so we can use both at the same time. And there's also some illustrations that I have to do for Jose, for his Oswald Chronicles project. It's for an upcoming book, and this was a book that was specifically pledged for, like on his very first or second Oswald campaign. He had a level where you could pledge to have an original story written with your character and Oswald, and somebody pledged to that. So he finally wrote the story. I'm finally going to do the pieces, but the catch is that, I'm doing the sketch. I'm going to be doing the sketches digitally, but the final piece is going to be traditional. I'm going to lightbox and I'm going to ink it. So, traditionally. So there's going to be originals for that. So, yeah, that's not, yeah. So in the end, it's like, that's not a concern if people are a little worried that I'm not going to be doing traditional artwork again. Because I know that inking is just way easier this way. So yeah, so I even I had my next issue 8 for Eagle Raven, like already printed out on paper, ready for me to pencil. And instead, what I did was I decided I was going to bring it into Clip Studio, and I'm just going to ink it straight in Clip Studio. Hold on, let me lower this. We lower that music a bit. So yeah, so that's how successful the experiment was. I was ready to just pencil and ink the next issue, and it's like, nope, we're bringing it in. Which in the end, I'm glad for, because I think it's going to be a lot more efficient for me that way. Yeah. So what else is going on over there? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Before the beautiful raid that Visidia brought here, I was talking about how important it is to surround yourself with people who are going to uplift you, who are going to that you're going to improve them as much as they improve you, type of thing. Like I said, it's like there was like, there's always some kind of drama nonsense happening online, and it's like, and in the end, it's like, you know what? I'm really gonna I'm gonna really make it a point to kind of make it more of an effort to stay away from that stuff. Because it really does affect like how you think and how you do things and how you look at things. And it's not good to be surrounded by all that manufactured negativity. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do anybody any good. So when I decided to kind of clean up my social media a bit, just kind of like clean up my Twitter feed and tidy up certain things. Yeah, I just felt a lot better. Like usually, like I would be streaming to Twitter, and in the end, I just decided that it just wasn't worth the effort. Like I said, they don't let me see your chats anyway and Twitter. So if I can't interact through here, then so that's kind of like how I'm looking at it. That it's like, you know what? It's like, like I started muting, like certain people who kind of like all they did was bring up drama, and it's like, I don't need that. I don't need that. It's like I'm having, too good of a time right now. And it's like I want to keep that groove going. you know Also, another thing that I really liked about inking digitally is like for the first time in a while, I'm able to regularly use like the smallest nib that I usually use traditionally. It's usually this one, this nib. Here it says a 0.2, but I think it's usually like a point. It's a 0.3 in the Rapidograph brand. It's a 0.3 or a number 1 Rapidograph, and I haven't been able to use that for a while because the nibs because they're so thin, they'd always get clogged up. like you get the little paper fibers in there in the nib, and then it's like it was just always a pain to use. So I had stopped using that nib, which I guess in the end was for the best, because with color, a thicker line is a lot easier to work with, when coloring. But because it's digital, I don't have that problem anymore. And I realized, I can actually go back to using that nib. So I found myself using that nib more often, especially when on smaller panels. So yeah, it was just like really nice to and also this is the thing that I like also the best, which let me see, let me remember. So like say if like I'm thinking that maybe this is a little too thick for what I want. Maybe not, right? But so I'm thinking, so maybe what if I used the thinner pen, the thinner nib, just to I think I like that better. Because if it was on paper, I would use the thicker nib, because it's like, well, my little pen, the little nib isn't working anyway, so I would just use the thicker pen anyway. But at least here, I don't have to worry about that. I can use the actual nib that I want to. Right. Yeah, that's what I noticed you using the other day, because I was like, wait, what nib is she? I was doing that, trying to look at your layers and your setup on the screen, and I saw that it was the mapping pen, and I go, I might have to try that. I mean, the funny thing for me, it's like I don't know. It's like I kind of like my lines right now to be very uniform. Although what's funny is that as I continue inking, I'm trying to imitate the different brush strokes and whatnot with this. But like right now, yeah, so right now it's like this just gives me the control I prefer to have, because there is no variation in line weight. That's just the way I ink. So but eventually I'm going to have to try out like all the different types of nibs that are available. It's just that finding this one, which is the felt tip. This is the felt pen. It, like I said, it just imitated my my rapidiographs perfectly. So it made the transition seamless for me. It's like, I could just start inking, because I don't have to worry about it. It's not looking like my originals. But yeah, I am having a really good time with this. I mean, it's like, look at that. It looks. I might as. It's like I look. It to me, it looks exactly like how I would ink on paper, except the lines are a lot nicer. The lines are a lot nicer. Because it's like, it's like, because let me just open this again. Let me just open this again. Where is? Because this was the thing that really convinced me to It's not, I don't want to be there. That to actually that switching over was the right thing to do. Um, yeah, let me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this panel, which I showed at the beginning of the show, so this top panel right here, this is a traditionally inked. I did it on paper and I scanned it in so I could finish the rest of the page digitally, and look at the difference. I mean, it's like, look at the difference in line. Look at how janky those lines look. Look at how janky this is me. This is ink on paper. Look at how janky that looks, right? And then it's like when you go to the panel that I actually inked, that I inked digitally. Look at how smooth that is. Look at how crisp that is. You know, and mind you, this is me working raster. I'm not. Other people have suggested that I like go to vector, but I don't know. It just like I've done printouts and whatnot, and I haven't really. I don't feel like I need to ink in vector, although I understand why people would do that, because then it's like they don't have to worry about, you know, enlarging or anything or whatnot. But I mean, just this was enough to convince me that I made the right decision. I mean, look at this poor original. That's pen on paper. Look at how raggedy that looks. You know, look at how smooth and beautiful it looks. You know, um, so it was just really jarring to see that difference. Um, so it's just nice. It's just really nice to know that it's like this is going to be like really smooth inking. The only thing that I have to be careful with is making sure that what I've been trying to make a habit of is locking the layer that I don't want to ink on, so that it forces me to just ink on the correct layer. Because I've seen too many of those things where it's like people, they do all this work and then they realize that they were inking on the wrong layer the entire time. And I had that happen to me the other day. Luckily, I was able to fix it. You know, it wasn't too painful. But yeah, I've just been like, okay, let me lock the sketch layer so that, you know, I don't have to, I'm not accidentally inking on it. So yeah. Yeah, and I can, yeah, I can understand why people get used to that. Undo. Uh, ay, ay. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been doing. Just inking, cleaning, learning this, you know, like reading this book about marketing. Um, just trying to stay focused on getting all this work done. Also, the thing is too, is like I don't like using the pressure settings. I'd rather create the variation myself, I guess, until I just get used to I just get used to So what's everybody up to? What's going on? What's everybody up to? Like I said, I've been rather singular minded for the past couple of weeks. So I still can't believe that Kickstarter pretty much doubled my workload with the new update. So many, there's so many. I mean, when it came to just like, there's this part in Kickstarter. Oh, okay. Gothic. Hold on. Let's see. I'm working on a comic page that I decided to for a class that I'm in. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Oh, very nice. Working on character sheets. I have to do that. I never really work. I never really do character sheets. I see. Oh, drawing fan art. Very nice. That was something that I was talking about the other day. I had an epiphany. I had an aha moment when it came to fan art the other day. So I was reading this marketing book, and it was talking about like how to turn cold customers into fans of your work or something. And the thing that they were talking about is kind of like bridging the gap in interests in interests that the person may have and you, so that they would like in my case, it's like I want people to buy my original comics. But what if I'm confronting somebody who's not familiar with my work and whatnot? And of course the answer was fan art, right? So that's always like a really good that's like always like a really good way at conventions to really attract attention is through fan art. The only thing that was like, for me though, I was having a hard time with it, because it's like I would get people who'd be like, oh, do you have Deadpool? Do you have a picture of Harley Quinn? And I go, yeah. It's like, oh, by the way, since you're here, you want to check out this comic? And they go, nah, no thanks. They just want the print. So I was always very frustrated with that. And then it's like I was reading this book, and it finally hit me that it's like, because I do more, I do, fantasy oriented books, comics, and none of my fan art that I was drawing kind of reflected that interest. It's like, like I was drawing Deadpool. I was drawing I was drawing Harley Quinn and whatnot. But what do they have to do with like medieval furry fantasy? They don't, right? So I was technically drawing the wrong fan art to attract the people who may have been interested in my work. So, Dr. Midnight, so do you draw fan art in like just in general, like you just draw fan art, or do you draw fan art in conjunction with original stuff that you're trying to get people into? Like, do you have like your own comic, or are you just like, are you a print person, kind of like, what's what's your thing at conventions that you do? Because like the next time I do a convention and it's like, and I want to have fan art, I have to really rethink the type of fan art that I do in order to connect it better, in order to kind of like attract the people who would potentially be interested in my comics. I mean, it was just so obvious like it just seems so obvious. It's like, why didn't I think of this? Why didn't this occur to me? But then again, it's like planning for conventions is so hard to begin with. Oh, let's see. So I have my own comics, cool, that I make. I'm trying to build a supply of books to sell at a convention before I start going. I am making prints to get people to come by my table. Oh, so you're doing, very nice. So you're doing kind of like the same thing that I was just talking about. Now, the thing is though, it's like, so when you do your fan art prints, are you like just doing like characters that you like, or you're trying to do characters that are popular? Or like I said, it's like, are you trying to connect that fan art to your comics, to your book somehow? Yeah, I know. Like I said, it sounds obvious, right? It's like Gothic Lolita Angel. I never thought like that. I should start making prints in relation to my manga. Yeah, no, that's like, it sounds obvious, right? But that's the thing, because I went back and looked at my fan art prints that I was selling, and just by looking at it, I'm like no wonder I was having problems, like really attracting people to my book, because it's like I was drawing things that I thought were popular, not things that were like related to my book. I was drawing Batman when I should have been drawing like more Disney stuff. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, yeah, it's like that's, yeah, when you have like like kind of like a weird, like, yeah, it's kind of tough when you have a book that doesn't fit neatly into a marketing box. You have to kind of play around with what you have to, like, what works and what doesn't work, and like trying to find what little connections that you can to bridge that gap between the fan art and the book that you want everybody to to pick up eventually, right? Because in the end, it's like so it's like I was drawing like Batman. I was drawing like, what was that cartoon? Hero 6, Big Hero 6 or something. And it's like, and I'm like, none of this has, like Deadpool and Harley. It's like, none of this has anything to do with any of my books. I'm attracting, all I'm doing is attracting superhero people, when I should be doing fan art that attracts people who are into fantasy, people who are kind of like into more like, well, fantasy drama. I mean, everything that I do is all fantasy based. That's just my thing. You haven't figured it out already. So it's like, so I was just like, oh, should have had a V8, type of moment when I looked through my prints. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like, there's like a couple of conventions that I'm kind of like planning on going for next year. I'm still like, I'm trying to figure out Baltimore Comic-Con. and I just have to settle some things with Baltimore just to make Baltimore work. Um, and yeah, if I was going to like do prints for it, it'd be like fan art prints. It'd be incredibly specific now. Like I was just like brainstorming as to like you know like like instead of Deadpool, I should have had, The Witcher. I should have had Lord of the Rings stuff. I should have had like, even if I did like Marvel stuff, the more like fantastical Marvel stuff, like, like Doctor Strange and Thor and Loki and Rocket Raccoon. And you see, I should have had Rocket Raccoon prints, not Deadpool. I mean, it was yeah, it was just like kind of, like mind blowing to realize it's like, oh, that's why fan art prints never really worked for me. I was doing the wrong ones, so yeah, so that's something that I have to kind of, you know, for, especially for Baltimore, probably like do a couple of fan art prints that fit the theme, and I'll report back. I'll report back if it works. So what else is everybody doing? Is anybody also putting together stuff for conventions or whatnot? Are there any conventions anybody's planning on going to? I'm kind of slowly thinking of getting back into that game, but it's like conventions are just like, what's really funny is that I think that if it was easier for me to get into anime conventions, I would be more excited about convention season in general. Ever since Patrick, conventions are so passe and pre-COVID. No, I kind of think that there's something useful. Jesus, that there's something. You see, I couldn't do that on paper. Let's see. Oh, what's funny is that I think I'm going to erase these lines, and I'm going to use the thinner pen on this. See, couldn't do that on paper. Let's see. I have one in August, but I'm doing what I can. I'm still current. Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. There's always a lot going on, right? But hopefully you do well at that convention, that it kind of tides you over until you find work, more steady work. Which, just for everybody to know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a job and doing artwork at the same time. I mean, I kind of hope that we're on that same wavelength, that as long as you're doing artwork at any time of the day, that you're still an artist, you're still doing comics, you're still being creative, even if it's not completely supporting you. It's like, so, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. This idea was kind of getting tossed around a couple of days ago, that it's like, oh, if you have a job, you're not really an artist. I go, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. You're an artist as long as you're arting. As long as you're arting, you're an artist. As long as you're doing whatever it is that you wanted to do, that's what you're doing. The fact that you have that you have to get a job on the side or something, that doesn't affect anything except your ability to pay bills easier. That's it. It doesn't, it doesn't, it's like, it's very rare. I mean, it's like, look, it's rare for an artist, especially at our level, to be able to work full time. I mean, at just doing artwork. I mean, it's like you would either have to make it like an incredible priority, you know, where it's like, you know, you're taking commissions, you know, you're just doing, you know, like how Vess is always doing, you know, like she does the rigging, she does commissions, you know, she's doing her book and whatnot. But it's like, you know, it's a lot, you know, yeah, it's a lot that you have to do. So it's like, I completely, I mean, yeah, that's why I'm mentioning it, you know, because like I said, like this notion was being passed around a while. Yeah, you know, you want to, yeah, of course, we want to make this a career. But you know, it's like the road goes like this, you know, the road, you know, it's all twists and turns. And they're just, you know, there are just some times where it's like, yeah, you have to, you know, a kind of like an outside job, you know, a straight job or whatever. I've heard, you know, something that's not your artwork has to be a part of the equation somehow. But it doesn't mean you're not focused on making art your career. It doesn't mean that you're not focused on that. It just means that this is helping you. The job is helping you focus, because I mean, it's like, look, I mean, I've worked, I mean, I haven't been like, right now I'm able to just do this full time, but I had to do a lot of planning while I was working. I mostly worked in print. So it had nothing to do with comics where I was working. Although I do have to admit, working in print taught me a lot that I ended up like transferring that knowledge to you know, to comics, because I worked in print shops. You know, I learned to do, I learned on the machines that, you know, does print on demand, you know, Xerox machines. You know, whenever you hear print on demand, that's Xerox machines. That's all that is. That's all that means. And I learned to work on those machines. So I know exactly how to set up my books. I know, like, when I see things like errors in print, I know exactly what they are. So that might be an option for you. If, you know, it's like, if you want to kind of feel like you have a job that supplements your art without it kind of feeling, you know, without, you know, but it's still a separate job. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like, look into working at print shops. You know, it's like, you know, your FedEx, you know, your well, I don't, do they still call them FedEx Kinkos now or something? You know, work at, you know, it's like, work in a print shop, work in a copy shop, you know, and it's like, learn those machines, you know, and it's like, and I learned binding, you know, it's like, I learned printing, binding, I learned how to make posters, I learned the programs that ran these machines. Oh, there you go. So you're ahead, you're way ahead. You're way ahead. Actually, that's you know, yeah, if especially nowadays, if you can get back into marketing, you know, but you know, it's like, just, you know, just tossing those options out there for everybody, you know, because it's like, yeah, that's what I did. I took everything that I ended up learning at those jobs and applying it to what I do now. Oh yeah, much better. That's much better. He couldn't do that on paper. Right? Yes, I did. I was running an iGen. But most of the printers that I was running on ran on the furry system. All of them. That's, you know, that's where you did most of the setup and everything before you ran it. through the machine. Hello, Grant. Hello, welcome. Yeah, it's like yeah, I ran all those machines. It's been a while, but I don't think that the technology really changed that much. Honestly, so I wouldn't sweat it too much. Oh no, yeah. Oh, so your eyes are this big now. Is that what it is? Yeah. It's like I have to do that. My glasses have been bothering me. I think my prescription's definitely changed. So I'm gonna have to. I have to set up an appointment with the eye doctor for that myself. It's like I'm wearing right now. I am wearing. Actually, this is Grant. I mean, this is just a generic. This is just a pinup that I did for funsies. It's like I said, it's like a fantasy Calvin Klein piece. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I was in a mood, and I just figured, with me finishing the Not Safe for Work book recently, and I'm just finishing up the other comic as well, I figured that I just kind of like take kind of a break from comic book panels just to get into like doing just a straight on illustration in Clip Studio. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this piece to learn how to color in Clip Studio. But it kind of has nothing to do with anything. It's just kind of like, I don't know, a funny promo piece. So that's just what well, it's very the name of the piece is The Queen's Consorts. So the name of my name for the piece is The Queen's Consorts. And or to make it easier, this is Ego Raven's harem. So, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So it's just to do something a little different, So what was I saying? What was I talking about? iGens, right? I was talking about working in Xeroxes. working in Xerox, working on Xerox machines. Oh, so speaking of harems, right? So again, going back to marketing, going back to that marketing book that I'm reading, right? So I'm trying to, so like I said, I'm trying to figure out like a more kind of like efficient way of, you know what? Let me do that here too. Yeah, I think yours is okay. Oh, no, I don't want that. And it's like I guess it was like trying to like figure out like all the like I guess like the fan art stuff that I was talking about, trying to make that bridge that connection, to bridge that gap between the cold audience member who like someone who's just coming to your table for the first time and it's like, oh, what is this? And using fan art as a way to kind of like bridge that gap where it's like, oh, well, if you like this fan art, maybe you'll like this book, that type of thing. So, and it kind of just made me think about, it's like, what? It's like, what am I marketing, in the end? It's like, what am I, what are these connections that I'm trying to make? Right. So, oh, maybe you guys can answer this for me. Okay. because it's like, so I'm thinking about like all this fan art, like these fan art connections, right? That I'm trying to make between my comics and the fan art public in general, right? And I'm just kind of wondering, like, okay, so especially when it comes to anime, right? I'm just completely out of the loop. I mean, it's like, look, the most recent anime that I've watched was Violet Evergarden. Uh, that's yes, very much so. Like I said, not wrong. Absolutely not wrong. Not wrong. Um, because one of the because it's like so Violet Evergarden is the last anime that I watched. And then like before that, I think like the last anime I watched before that was, I think it was Escaflowne. I think Escaflowne was probably the last anime I watched, like sat down and really watched. I do have a series called The 12 Kingdoms that I only partially watched, and I just have to sit down and watch it. And but here's the thing, right? So if I'm using, so Peter Raven, my book, I've always kind of considered kind of like, as you can tell from this piece, kind of like it's kind of sort of a harem manga, or more like a reverse, or although it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard to tell. It's, so Eagle Raven has options, let's just say that. And so I kind of like considered, it's like, okay, so a harem manga especially is something that I think that this book, that my work has in common with. Now, but the thing is though, is that, okay, so what's the harem manga that I remember? Okay, so it's like, we're talking about like Tenchi Muyo, but it's not, it's kind of, Tenchi Muyo is more like a comedy type of thing. So I'm thinking, okay, more dramas, right? So we're talking about, well, the thing is though, Utena, right? Revolutionary Girl Utena. I mean, I know that that's not a harem manga, but it is like a bunch of people fighting over one girl. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. And then it's like there's the Rose of Versailles. The Rose of Versailles, which is also kind of, where I kind of lean towards. But here's the thing, when it comes to fan art, how old is too old? Like, do you guys even know this anime that I'm talking about? Especially those of you that came in from Twitch. It's like, do you know Escaflowne? It's like, are you familiar with Tenchi? Are you familiar with Utena? Although I would think that Utena and Rose of Versailles are more iconic, so I'd be surprised if you don't. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it's like, oh, that's a little too old. Like also another series that I really attach to this is Ixer 1, especially Ixer 1. It's like, okay, so you've heard of these, you haven't seen it. You've seen Tenchi, right? Okay. Well, it not over. Well, you see, the thing is though, is that like Tenchi is a little bit too much, kind of over the top for me. For me to make that connection. No, absolutely. Look, we saw this. I saw all this when it was new. Oh, okay. So Rose of Versailles, they just released it again. So that means that, okay, so maybe it would have a new audience for me to kind of like latch onto. Okay, so you are familiar with Ixer 1. Okay. All right. Because I'm just kind of wondering, like, at what point is something like a reference is too old for me to kind of like use it in a fan art sense. Because like I said, this book had me thinking too much. This book, let's see. Yeah, well, that's definitely Ixer 1. Yeah, definitely Ixer 1. Like there was another series called Outlanders as well that came out around the same time. Yeah, but I mean, everyone's referencing the Peter Jackson movies. I mean, so it is, and that's kind of like became part of the zeitgeist. So yeah, I can still like Lord of the Rings is still something that I could latch onto, without feeling like I have to explain it too much. Um, so yeah, so I'm just kind of like wondering, like, yeah, like how old is too old? Because like I said, I may be going to this convention and I might do like a couple of new pieces, fan art pieces, just to kind of test the waters. uh let's see. I'm sure you meant obscure, right? It's like, yeah, a lot of them are more obscure. So that's what I'm kind of concerned about, is that am I being too obscure? you know, but okay. So it's like, let's see. What did Joe recommend? What is Those Who Hunt Elves? So okay, so that's something for me to watch. Like, if I wanted, like, what's the are they like fantasy? What's the like Lodos Wars? Would anybody still recognize Lodos Wars? Although I'm kind of assuming a lot of people would, because I see someone puts up a piece of Deedlit and everyone goes nuts. So I kind of think Lodos Wars would be a safe bet. Um, because I think that Lotus Wars is just so iconic, um that that I don't think I would have an issue with that. But it's like, yeah, it's like, what's yeah, so what fantasy anime is out there that people are watching? Like I said, I am so out of the loop. um what's good? Uh oh, I don't know. I just don't remember the dark elf name. Puritas? I think it was Puritas or something like that. So okay, so Gothic Lolita Angel saying, so Lotus Wars has a new game? That they have a game out? Or is that Airmaster? You see, that's how, just like, I'm just so out of it. Ancient Magus Bride. I do have to watch that. It has that whole Beauty and the Beast vibe that I always love anything based on Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, I guess I just finally have to sit down and watch that. Let's see. Although I do like isekai. I do like that. I mean, it's like, that is, that's Escaflowne. That's Escaflowne, pretty much. Escaflowne, 12 Kingdoms, they're both isekai. Okay. Yeah, I gotta finally watch Bastard too. Ichi doesn't bother me. Ichi doesn't bother me too much. It's like, I know that everyone recognized Berserk. That, you know, but yeah, Ichi doesn't bother me too much. Although the thing is, though, I don't want it to go too much, I mean, it's like kind of like how Tenchi is like the whole harem thing, but it goes a little bit too much into comedy. Let's see. 12 Kingdoms was boring and dragged. There's also currently running a version. I think it was called Bell, I think. Is that what you're talking about? And then Joe says that he's more into like sci-fi fighting, slice of life type. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I really do need it to be fantasy. Yeah, I just like also I'm not liking the way this is looking. Okay. Oh, I just have to get in closer. Oh, here's something that'll probably put a wrench in everything. I think that I'm really not into shonen. I don't think I'm really that into shonen though. So I've been, it's like I've been, because I know that, because I know like the things that everybody keeps saying, like, oh, One Piece, Naruto, that type of thing, and it's like, and yeah, it's really funny, even with the fantasy element. I've come to the conclusion that I'm not really into shonen. So so maybe like I don't know. I still haven't figured out like what exactly I don't like about it. Like I'm not sure. Oh, Seven Deadly Sins. I think Jose was watching that. The only thing that might be, I don't know, Deadly Sins kind of came out. I don't know. It's like I remember Jose watching it, and I remember watching a little bit of it, and it was a little too. What little that I saw, was a little too little over the top pervy. It's like not really what I was looking for. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It was a little too much for me. Although, what's it called? Grand Blue? Grand Blue. All right. So does Grand Blue Fantasy mean anything to anybody? How's that one? I started watching it on Netflix and they pulled it. So I might have to see if my sister still has a Crunchyroll account. Because I think Seinen. So which one's that one? I have to look everything up. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, because I really, because it felt like a little too much for me. Seven Deadly Sins. So what is Seinen? Oh, because I'm assuming it's not shonen. So Seinen must be kind of okay, so Grand, because that one was a little closer to Grand Blue Fantasy was a little closer to what I was kind of looking for. But like I said, the Netflix took all the episodes out of the air. Oh, it's Slice of Life. But is it fantasy? You see, I don't mind Slice of Life as long as it's fantasy, if that makes any sense. Okay, it's more mature anime. Oh, okay. All right. I'll look into that. Let's see. Jinjitsu. Okay, I'll look into that. Yeah, it's like I'm so, like I said, it's like I'm so out of it, but it's like I'm trying to connect. You mentioned, yeah. I mean, it's like I know, Joe. You're kind of like in a different genre aesthetic, and no, so that's what I was just thinking about with fan art, like trying to use fan art and like it's like what different fan art now that I know what I know, like what would be like the different types of fan art I would do this time, but like I said, it's like I have to just figure out this whole Baltimore thing, and then I'll report back. um oh, let's see. Fan streaming sites. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's like if I did a Google search, but it's like, I wanted to do the initial live question first. Because it has been bugging me. It has been bothering me. Um you know yeah, so yeah, Joe, it's trying to find that connection, right? I mean, there was another person who said that they have a book that kind of like doesn't fit in a tidy box too. So it's like, you know so yeah, it's just trying to like, okay, well, how do we get that attention? Like, if we are going to use, like, say, like if fan art is something we can do to bridge that gap, yeah, what would be like for you, Joe? I would think that doing yeah, like Wonder Woman and She-Hulk would be kind of like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna add. That's what I'm also gonna do, Patrick. I want to see like what's check those types of sites to see, yeah, because I think, Bear Stars, yeah. Yeah, I never got to watch that. I mean, it's, what it is, it's like anime is, I can't watch them dubbed. I can't. I could only watch them subtitled, which means that I have to actually sit down and concentrate, because I have to read the screen. It's not something that I could just pop it on and then have it in the background while I'm working. So yeah, so I just have to so it's a little bit more of an effort for me to kind of like catch up with anime um than anything else. So let's see. Oh, Bear Stars is on Netflix. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's, yeah, so like luckily I've heard of most of the stuff that you guys are recommending, but like I said, it's just, I just have to actually sit down and actually watch it, because I am subtitles. It's like I have a thing for subtitles. I never yeah, it's like I'm just not into dubs at all. um it's even this a thing with foreign films for me. It's not just an anime thing. Like if I can watch it in whatever original language something is in, I'd rather do that. um I really don't like dubs at all. um so there we go. So let me take a look at that. Yeah, it's yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, this is let me just save. I don't think I saved my file because I've been talking. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so here we are at the top of the second hour. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, here we are at the top of the second hour. So this is what I have so far. It's like, look, it just goes to show you that even when working in Clip Studio Paint, I still can't finish a piece on a stream. So, some things don't change, right? But yeah, so this is what I have so far inking in Clip Studio Paint. I'm really liking the way it's coming out. Like I said, the smooth lines is just like very aesthetically pleasing for me. So yeah, so eventually, what I want to do is I want to like finish this entire piece in Clip Studio. Like I said, I'm just going to use it to kind of like crash course my way into, because usually I color in Photoshop. Like what I'm going to do with my comic book pages that I showed before, I'm bringing them into Photoshop, and then I'm going to color them there. They're already lettered in Illustrator, and then I put everything into InDesign to set up the books. I have everything set up in advance, so that's why I'm not doing it in Clip Studio. But eventually I would like to start moving a lot of this process into Clip Studio. So kind of like condense it. I mean, the thing is though, the way I work, I don't see myself getting rid of the Adobe suite anytime soon. So, but the thing is though, the more that I could do in one program, the better. And I'm sure eventually it'll come a point where it's like, I kind of don't need Photoshop, but honestly, I don't see that happening. Even when like I was watching some recent videos from White Manga, he was still working. He was still switching back and forth from Photoshop. So obviously there are things that Photoshop can do that that Clip Studio can't, and vice versa. And and not for nothing though, it's like here in the United States, like the Adobe suite is the industry standard. I was just talking about, like going, like if you have to go work, in kind of like a similar field, they all work in Adobe. So either way, it's to my benefit to continue kind of, being up to date in the Adobe suite. But you know what, every tool has its purpose. So this is where, so this is kind of like where, we're kind of fitting this in. Clip Studio has been a tremendous help with these pages that I've been doing, and I only see it becoming even more helpful as I continue doing my next comic book projects. So, we're going to continue on that way. But for everything else, probably, it's just kind of like, okay, what's best for this? What's best for that? In the end, not one program can really do everything that you need. So, but, like, you just have to, go with what works with you, what works with what you're doing. There is no right program. There is no, you have to use this, you have to use that. You use the tools that are best for you. I've had people for years telling me that inking with radiographs was wrong. And now that everything is digital, what they were doing is irrelevant. So it's like, so them saying, oh, you're inking with radiographs is wrong. It's like, no, it's not, because I'm doing artwork with it. I'm doing finished pieces with it. So it's whatever. Look, I've seen artists work with ballpoint pens. So in the end, it's like the tool that gets you to do the work that you need to do. That's the tool you use. So that's, and remember, it's like, as long as you're creating. The fact that you have to get another job, or the fact that you have a job or whatnot that has nothing to do with artwork, it doesn't make you less than a creator because you have a job. That has nothing to do with what you're doing. If you're still creating, you're still creating. You're still a comic book artist. As long as you're doing comics, you're still an artist as long as you're still doing art. You're still a writer as long as you're writing. As long as you're doing the thing you want to do, you are that thing. So don't let somebody, some stick in the mud online try to convince you that you're less than because you're not living like this fantasy version of what they think an artist should be. Here, thank you. Well, yeah, I'm just finishing up here. But but yes, please feel free to watch the stream, the rebroadcast, or whatever they call it, whatever ends up in the playlist, to rewatch the video. Please feel free. Thank you. So here's the piece. I'll finish it eventually because like after I get off the air, after I get off the stream, I'm gonna go back to finishing that. Hey, Brown Dog, hello, Brown Dog. Just at the end, you always come in just at the very end, and I thank you for that very much. I hope you enjoy watching the rebroadcast. I thought we had a really good conversation. Everybody from Twitch, just look at that. I got a lot of people from Twitch coming in. A lot of interesting conversation coming from Twitch. Very nice. Along with all the regulars in the chat. You guys. I love the way you guys keep me company. So thank you so much. So let me just put this to the side. Like I said, it's like what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the comic book page that I was working on before, so I can finish that book. So I can at least get that book crossed off my list as done. And then I'm going to see what else. Like I said, I have some commissions that I have to work on and whatnot. So eventually I'll finish this piece, but this is what I got so far. So I'm liking it. So, here we are. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. Thank you so much for everybody from Twitch. Thank you so much to Visenia for the raid again. Thank you so much. It's always fun to have you guys here. Thank you. And I always thank you so much to everybody, all my regulars in the chat, all my irregulars in the chat. You're welcome too. But just thank you so much for being in the chat and keeping me company for this 2 hours. And yes, thank you so much to the 17 eyeball people watching me from regions beyond. Yes, just 17 people. Thank you to the 17 people who are next to the giant eyeball on my screen. And it's not really a giant eyeball. It's just, it's just Streamyard telling me how many people are viewing simultaneously. But I'm calling you eyeball people is funny. Come on. So let's see. So where am I? Where's my stuff? Oh my goodness. So here we are at the end of another stream. Like I said, thank you so much for everybody for hanging out with me for the 2 hours. I'm hoping to see everybody again on Friday when I'm back with Nita. On our vlog show at 11 a.m., Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So join us again on Friday. And let's see, what else do I got here? Yes. And remember that Tall Tales, or So I Thought, is on Kickstarter. Final 8 days on Kickstarter. It's the first full color Tall Tales comic. It's a one-shot. It's a standalone story. So if you're visiting for the first time and you want to check out, you want to pledge to my campaign while you're here, you can pick up the one book, and it's one contained story, so you can try it out. So when the next campaign comes along, you can pick up everything else. So last 8 days on Kickstarter, check that out. And remember that Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, issue 7 will be back August 2nd on Kickstarter. The link is in the show note below, so that you can hit the button to be notified when the campaign goes live, but the pre-launch is live. And like I said, join me and Nita on Friday at 11 a.m. We'll be talking about whatever nonsense crosses our minds. on that day, although the topic is going to be what not to do on Kickstarter, which I think is just important as what to do on Kickstarter. So if you're looking on planning, if you're planning a campaign or looking to do a campaign, join us on Friday and we can answer any questions that you have. And remember, Saturday is another episode of House of Bob, the adults only live stream, where me and Nita, we will be having a conversation of I don't know what, but I will be working on more risque artwork that is not suitable for the day crowd. You will have to be age verified in order to log in and watch the stream. So if you're able to do that, join us on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and everything else, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWRKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook. If you are interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress and any live updates that I may have, including any finished artwork or whatnot. Unfortunately, it won't be this, but follow me on Facebook if you want kind of like the latest up-to-date stuff about what's going on. And remember that you can catch me here on YouTube, watch all my videos on how I make my comics, any previous live streams and previous vlogs at my channel at Daphne Lage Art right here, and that's Lage. And remember that everything simulcasts also through the Indie Comics Network, all my videos and our semi-weekly live streams. So remember to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I go live on either of those channels. And remember, you can also read Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free before the Kickstarter starts, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, where not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know I did. Thank you again to all the raiders from Twitch. I really, really enjoyed your company. Thank you so much for staying and talking to me. And watching me hardly get any work done in Clip Studio Paint. So thank you so much again, and have a really nice rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?